Hi guys, my name is Yukitra An-to-nee-uh Prosper and I'm a senior studying math education at the University of the Bahamas. I haven't done a video in a while, so I'm like, let me do a video completing the math one for the final exam. Because I did test one, I test two, but I don't think I did the final exam. So I'm gonna do that with a few things. Number one, I saw a question in UB Survival asking should they complete their my math lab assignments. And I thought that was a key. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, this is a prank. If you ain't finished your MyMath assignments, please go finish them. There are a few extra points that you will need. Second, please practice. Practice, practice, practice. Go to the math office and get a few other years that we're going to do. I'm going to do 2019, but practice the other years. And once you practice, and once you put your mind forward, and once you pray, you will be okay. So let's go. Okay, the first question lists all the integers. So the first thing that I would do would be to simplify each one. So I see the square root of 8 over 2. That's a negative. Square root of 8 divided by 2 is 4. You know the square root of 4 is 2. So it's just negative 2. 0 over 3 is just 0. 8 to the power of 1 over 3. That's 2 cubed. 8 is just 2 cubed to the power of 1 over 3. That'll just be 2 to the power of 3 over 3 when you multiply the 2. So it'll just be 2 to the power 1, which is just 2. So our integers would be, this would be our first one, negative 1, 0 over 3, and then 8 to the power 1 over 3. So our answer is D. Just put our answer here. Which equation has a solution of all real numbers? So you get this when both sides are equal to 0. So looking at this, you have to solve it, of course, and then when you get 0 equal to 0, that will be your answer. Looking at this, I would consider C, because this look like it would give me 0 equal to 0. So let's solve it. You have to distribute. 5 times x is 5x, and then 5 times negative 6 is minus 30, plus 10 equal to 5x minus 20. Just move it up here so I have space. Minus 30 plus 10 is minus 20, so that could be 5x minus 20 equal 5x minus 20. I already see that this is going where I want it to. Send the 5x over, that'd be minus 5x, so you have 5x minus 5x is equal to 20 minus 20. I brought this over, it became a negative. I brought this over, it became a positive. And then finally this would just be 0 is equal to 0, which is what we want. So that has a solution of all real numbers. So our answer for this question is C. Kristen wrote these steps when solving an equation. So given 17, open bracket x plus 3 equals to 6 minus 4. Step 1, he distributed the 17 to both terms in the group. So that gave us 17x plus 51 is equal to 6 minus 4. Then he subtracted the 4 from the 6, we gave him 2. He transposed and sent the 51 over. It became a negative 51. And then negative 51 plus 2 is negative 49. And he just divided, finally, both sides by 17. Which property justifies step 1? Step 1 was when he distributed. So this would be the distributive property. Divide 4.2 times 10 to the power negative 5 divided by 3.5 times 10 to the power negative 9 and express the answer in scientific notation. So get your handy dandy calculator and you're going to divide 4.2 by 3.5. That'll give you 1.2. Now you have to use the law of exponents for the second one. This is the quotient rule. So when we have 10 to the power negative 5, you're going to subtract this exponent from it. So it's going to be minus negative 9. Since it's already negative 9, you have to continue to put the negative. You can't just put minus 9. You have to put the minus negative 9. If you can't remember that, look over law of exponents, quotient rule. That'll give you 10 to the power negative 5 plus 9, which is just 10 to the power of positive 4. So that would give us 1.2 times 10 to the power positive 4, which is C. Determine the degree of the polynomial. So the degree of the polynomial, you're going to find which term has the highest degree. And to see which term of the highest degree, you just add the exponents of all the variables. So this x has a variable of 1. This y is a variable of 1. So the degree of this should just be 1 plus 5, which would give us 6. So the degree of this term is 6. The degree of this term is 5. The degree of this term is 3. So you're looking for which one has the highest. The 5x y to the power 5, this has the highest degree of 6. So the degree of the polynomial is 6, which is D. So evaluate 64 over 27 to the power negative 2 over 3. Again, if you're not familiar with this, law of exponents, negative exponent rule. To answer this, all you're going to do is you're going to flip it. So this fraction, you're going to make the denominator the numerator, and then the numerator the denominator. And then the exponent will be positive. So it will be 27 over 64. And then we have a positive exponent now. Both of these numbers are perfect cubes. 27, that is 3 cubed. That's 3 cubed. And then 64 is 4 cubed. And then we still have it to the power 2 over 3. We could just multiply the exponents. This is the power rule now. Multiply the exponents. 3 times 2 over 3 is just 6 over 3. So we have 3 to the power of 6 over 3 over 4 to the power of 6 over 3. We could simplify it. 6 divided by 3 is 2, so that's 3 to the power 2. And then 4 to the power 2. 3 squared is 9, and then 4 squared is 16. So we have 9 over 16, and that is C. Rationalize the denominator. So to rationalize the denominator, what we're going to do is multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. What is the conjugate? The conjugate of the denominator is just root 3 plus root 2. So you're going to multiply both. The numerator, that would give us root 21 plus root 14. Just multiply these two numbers inside. 7 times 3 is 21. And then 7 times 2 is 14. The denominator would give us, though, let me write it again so you could see it better. This root 3 minus root 2 times root 3 plus root 2. And remember FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. Root 3 times root 3 is just 3 itself. So just positive 3 itself. And then root 3. So we did root 3 times root 3. That gave us a positive 3. Now we got to do the root 3 times the root 2, which will give us the square root of 6. So that's plus the square root of 6. Minus the square root of 6. This root 2 times root 3. So minus the square root of 6. and then this root 2, this minus root 2 times positive root 2, that would give us minus 2. That would be equal to root 21 plus root 14 over 1, because these cancel out. And our final answer is root 21 plus root 14. Now I gotta take a sip of water. Okay, now question 8, simplify. So what I like to do is, because I like to visual it, I just write it how it is. You just multiplying this equation twice. So just root 5 minus 2 root y times root 5 minus 2 root y. FOIL again, first, outer, inner, last. So root 5 times root 5, that's just 5. Root 5 times minus 2 root y, that's minus 2 root 5y. And then multiplying these two now, that's again minus 2 root 5y. Now when we multiply the minus 2 root y, this minus 2 root y times minus 2 root y, multiply the numbers. Minus 2 times minus 2, that's positive 4. And then root y times root y, that's just y itself. So that'd be plus 4y. And when we simplify that, that is 5 minus 4 root 5y plus 4y. And that answer is B. What is the least common denominator of the fractions? So the first thing you want to do is prime factorize it. X squared, that's just x times x. X squared minus 1, this is the difference of two squares. So this will give us x minus 1, and then x plus 1. Factor this, that's x times 1 plus x times 1 plus x. I'm going to find the LCD. So for our LCD, we're going to take the factor with the highest exponent. So we have x, right? But this over here is x squared, you see? And it's just x by itself. So you're going to take x squared. And you didn't necessarily have to prime factorize it. I just like to do it because sometimes you could understand it better. X squared, and then you have x plus 1 over here, right? But we have x plus 1 squared over here. This has the highest exponent, so we're going to take this. And then we have x minus 1 left. X minus 1 left. Everyone has to get some love. Okay, so that is our least common denominator of the fractions, and that is A. Okay, a rational expression whose numerator, denominator, or both contained one or more rational expressions is called a complex fraction. So C. So something like x plus 3 over x squared plus 2 or something like that. The blank of a non-negative number is written, of a non-negative number a is written as root a. That's the principal square root, so c. So if you want to find the principal square root of a non-negative number, for example, 25, you write it as root 25. A is 25. So the principal square root of a non-negative number, 25, is written as root 25. And then the square root will be 5. Okay, so blank form of a linear equation in two variables is ax plus by equals c. That is the standard form. Okay, so number 13, simplify. Okay, I see a sum of cubes up here. And we know the formula for sum of cubes. That's a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. So x cubed plus 1, I can just write it over here. That would be, a is x, so that'll just be x plus 1. A squared is x squared. AB is just x. So minus x. And then b squared is just 1. Plus 1 divided by, we're going to factor the bottom. Both of them have negative 80x in common, so we factored negative 80x. We're left with x minus 1. And then over here we still have the 8x, and then we can leave the x squared minus x plus 1. Now we could cross out and cancel. So we could cancel this. It's supposed to be x plus 1. When I factor out the negative 80, I divided this by negative 80, and that became a positive. So x plus 1, these would cancel. The x's would cancel. Now 8 could go into 8 once, and 8 could go into 80 10 times. So our final answer is negative 1 over 10. 1, this is negative, and then 10 here, negative 1 over 10. So answer is D. Simplify. So what we're going to do now is, again, factor. This is 2x squared minus 9. Again, this is the difference of two squares. So that's 2x minus 3, x plus 3. The bottom number, remember, when we're dealing with this quadratic equation, factors of c that add up to b. So we need two factors. So to factor this, we're going to find the factors of 15. And we're looking at this question right here. Factors of 15. So we have 1 and 15, and then 3 and 5. We can use positive 5 and negative 3, because 5 times negative 3 will give you negative 15, and then 5 plus negative 3 will give you positive 2. So you could just write that as x plus 5, x minus 3. You can factor this and say 4 x plus 2, and then it's the same thing. Remember, when we divide into fractions, you just keep the first fraction, change the sign, and then flip the second fraction. So this would be equal to, let's write everything, factorize 2 x minus 3, x plus 3 over x plus 5, x minus 3, multiplied by x plus 5 over 4, x plus 2. We could start crossing out, so this and this could cancel, this and this could cancel. 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 4 twice. So we left with x plus 3 over 2, x plus 2. X plus 3 over 2, x plus 2. So our answer is B. Now we have 15. Simplify x plus 2 squared minus 2, x plus 2. So again, I like to write it out so I can visualize it. This x squared FOIL, x times x is x squared, x times 2 is 2x, plus 2x, and then plus 2x again, plus 2x, and then 2 times 2 is 4. So it's equal to x squared plus 4x plus 4. Minus 2 times x squared is 2x squared. And then minus 2 times 2 is minus 4. So let's see if anything cancel. The 4 cancel. And then minus 2x squared plus x squared is just minus x squared. So answer would be minus x squared plus 4x. So our answer is B. And then you drink of water. Okay, for this, we have to factorize the denominators. Difference of two squares again. I didn't write the formula the first time, but it's a squared minus b squared. That's equal to a plus b, a minus b. So this is x squared minus 2 squared. So this is x minus 2, x plus 2. And then this over here is just x plus 2 squared. Because we just do that, so I recognize that that's x plus 2 squared. But you could factorize it. Factors of 4 that add up to 4 is just 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. So you just be writing x plus 2 squared. So our LCD is x plus 2 squared x minus 2. So you multiply in both equations by the LCD. You multiply this one. When you multiply this one by the LCD, only thing left over would be x plus 2. Because remember, it's x plus 2 squared, and then x minus 2. X minus 2 already here, and then only one x plus 2 here. We need another x plus 2 because it's x plus 2 squared. So we just multiply the numerator by x plus 2. And then this question, when we multiply it by the LCD, it's missing x minus 2. You can see x plus 2 squared is in the denominator, but x minus 2 is in here. So we just multiply the numerator by x minus 2. So x minus 3, x minus 2. And we can just put all of this over the denominator. Okay, FOIL again. I gotta make this smaller. I gotta bring this a little up here. So ain't no space. So x times x, remember FOIL, x times x and then x times 2. 1 times x and then 1 times 2. So this x squared plus 2x plus x plus 2, and then same thing over here. So plus x squared minus 2x minus 3x plus 6 over x plus 2 squared x minus 2. So that's x squared plus x squared. That's 2x squared. 2x plus x is 3x. 3x minus 2x is just x. And then x minus 3x is minus 2x. 2 plus 6 is just 8. So plus 8. And then we are dividing that over x plus 2 squared. And then times x minus 2. So our answer is 2x squared minus 2x plus 8 divided by x plus 2 squared over x plus 2 squared times x minus 2. And that is A. Solve m equals a minus b over ab for b. So the first thing that I'm going to do is get rid of the fraction. So I'm going to multiply both sides by ab. So when I do that, I would just have a b m is equal to a minus b. Because when I multiply this side by ab, it would cancel out and you just be left with a minus b. Now I'm going to send all the b's on one side. So I'm going to send this b over and transpose it. When I transpose it, it's going to become a positive b. So now we're going to have abm plus b is equal to a. Now I'm going to factor out b from both terms. So this would be b am plus 1 is equal to a. Now I'm going to divide both sides by am plus 1. So now I'm just going to be left with a b equals a over am plus 1. And that is b. Okay, so factor completely. One of the factors is, so I see a factor that's common in all, 5 and y. So when I factor out 5y, I'm left with 3y squared minus 2y plus 5. It's a quadratic equation. So I want to find factors of a times c. So factors of 15 that add up to 2. Negative 2, exactly. So 15 and 1. And then we have 5 and 3. So if we use positive 5, negative 5, and positive 3, because negative 5 plus 3 would give us negative 2. But there's an issue. You can't factorize this anymore because it will give you a complex number. Because we have to add it up to be b, but it also has to multiply to be this number here. When we multiply 3 times 5, we got positive 15. So when we multiply the two numbers we used, it should give us positive 15 as well. This wouldn't give us positive 15, this would give us negative 15. So this can't factor no more, because although it could add up to negative 2, we can't multiply it to get positive 15. So this would be the factor here. So any one of these is a trap. The answer would be A. for this problem, 19, when I was reviewing this paper, I did the method I did. It didn't work out. I went online. It didn't work out. ChatGPT, normally Chat just give you the answers, but it was giving me the runaround. So I couldn't figure out this answer. So I would suggest, if you want to know the answer to this question, ask your professor to break it down for you. Solve. Okay, so we deal with these inequalities. It's almost like transposing. So for this one, we're just going to divide both sides by 9. And when we do that, it would just be x is less than or equal to 3, because 27 divided by 9 is 3. This one, we have to do a little more than transpose. So we have negative x plus 9 less than negative 8. Going to send the 9 over. That'll make it a negative 9. So that'll be minus x less than negative 8 minus 9. That's negative x less than negative 17. When you divide both sides by a negative number, the sign flips. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 1. So our answer would now be x is greater than positive 17. So x is greater than positive 17, or x is less than or equal to 3. So which answer gives us that? A. Solve 2 times the absolute value of 3r minus 9 minus 1 equals 3. Now, the first thing we want to do is isolate the absolute value. So to do that, the first thing we're going to do is send the 1 over, transpose the 1. So you have 3r minus 9 equals 23 plus 1. Because when we send the 1 over, it becomes positive. Simplifying, we have 3r minus 9 equals 24. Now we're going to divide both sides by 2. So you have 3r minus 9 equals 12. Now we could take it out the absolute value. Either 3r minus 9 is equal to positive 12, or 3r minus 9 is equal to negative 12. You're going to send 9 over. 3r is equal to 12 plus 9. 3r is equal to 21. R is equal to 7. 21 divided by 3 is 7. 3r is equal to minus 12 plus 9. 3r is equal to negative 3. R is equal to negative 1, because negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1. So R is equal to 7 or negative 1. So our answer would be D. Solve and graph the solution. This is an AND. When it comes to the inequalities, you have AND or OR problems. This is an AND problem. So you could just set it up as negative 26 is less than 2x plus 10 is less than 26. You want to isolate the x in the middle here. So to do that, first you want to subtract 10 from all sides. So minus 26 minus 10, that's negative 36, less than 2x, less than 26 minus 10 is 16. Now you're going to divide both sides by 2. Well, all sides by 2, sorry. Negative 36 divided by 2 is negative 18, less than x, less than 8. So our answer is x is greater than negative 18 but less than 8. And then the circles would be open because of the inequality symbol. So our answer is C. Find the equation of the line passing through the point negative 3, negative 4 and parallel to the line having the equation 1 plus 3y minus x equals 0. So the first thing we want to do is solve for y. We want to put it in the formula y equals mx plus p. So you're going to solve for y. First thing you're going to do is send the x over. So 1 plus 3y equals positive x, and then 3y is equal to x minus 1. Now you're going to divide both sides by 3. That's going to give you y is equal to 1 over 3x minus 1 over 3. Now, if we want to find a line, the equation of the line passing through this point, but parallel to this, we have to use the same slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. So we're going to use the point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. I'm going to use this point, these points here, and then this formula, and then this slope, and substitute it. So y minus y1 is negative 4. So we're going to write y minus open bracket negative 4 equals m is the slope, 1 over 3. X minus, make sure I put minus since it's a negative, open bracket, negative 3. If on the test you get a question like this where the number is negative, you have to make sure I put minus and then open bracket negative 3. If you just put y minus 4 and call it a day, that's going to give you a wrong value. You have to put y minus, the y value is negative 4, so y minus negative 4. The x value is negative 3, so we put x minus negative 3. Now we're going to simplify. So now we have y plus 4 equals 1 over 3. This is x plus 3. So we want to transpose, so we send the 4 over. So we have y is equal to 1 over 3 times x, that's 1 over 3x. 1 over 3 times 3 is just 1, so plus 1. And then minus 4, because when we send the 4 over, it becomes a negative 4. You could simplify, y is equal to 1 over 3, x minus 3. And that is C. Okay, so determine whether each of the following statements is true or false. So a to the power m to the power n is equal to a to the power m to the power n. That is incorrect. Look over your law of exponents power rule. That would be equal to a to the power n times n. So this is false. The absolute value of x is equal to negative x while real numbers x. That's false. It's equal to positive x. X squared plus 9 factors as x plus 3x minus 3. That's false. There's no sum of two squares. There's only a difference of two squares. X squared plus 10xy plus 25 xy is a perfect square trinomial. That is true. It's of the form a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So your a would be x, and then your b would be 5y. Your a would be x, and then your b would be 5y. And if we was to use x and 5y and put it together, this is the perfect square trinomial formula, right? And if we used to use x, a as x, and b as 5y, we could put it together and say that's x squared plus 2 times x, that's 2x, and then 2x times 5y is 10xy, and then b squared, that's 25y squared. And that's the same as what we see here. So that's true. The points 0, 1, 0, 3 both lie in the line x equals 0. So if we have our graph, right? This x and this y, right? This where x is equal to 0, right? And if we want to draw that line, it'd be like this. 0, 1. If we plot our points, on the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember this the y-axis, right? You see the line x equals 0 is directly on this, right? So the points 0, 1 and 0, 3 are on this line. So see 0, 1 here and then 0, 3 here. So they both indeed lie on the line. So that is true. Solve the following equations. Remember this is the quadratic formula. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So you're going to find the factors of AC that add up to b. So a is 3, b and c is negative 8. So 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. So we're going to find factors of negative 24 that add up to 10. We have 24 and 1, 12 and 2, 8 and 3, and then 6 and 4. So we want our factors, the two factor pairs that we choose, we want them to add up to positive 10, but we also want them to multiply to get negative 24. So we can't use positive 6 and positive 4 because yes, they add up to 10, but when we multiply them, they give us positive 24. They don't give us negative 24. So the two factors that we would use would be positive 12 and negative 2. Because when we add 12 and then negative 2, that would give us positive 10. But when we multiply 12 and minus 2, that would give us negative 24. So now we could set it up and say that's 3x squared plus 12x minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Split it down the middle. We're going to factor out each group. So 3x is common in both terms, so we factor out 3x, we're left with x plus 4. 2 is common in both terms, so you're going to factor out 2, we're left with x plus 4 equals 0. So now we have x plus 4 is equal to 0. X plus 4, and then 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. So we're going to set both groups equal to 0. So we have x plus 4 equals 0, and then 3x minus 2 equals 0. X is equal to negative 4, and then 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Send the 2 over. 3x is equal to positive 2. X is equal to 2 over 3. So these are answers. X is equal to negative 4, or x is equal to 2 over 3. Alright, for this problem, we want to work from the inner and make our way out. So from inner and work our way out. So we have 3 minus 4t plus 5 times 2t is 10t. 5 times negative 1 is minus 5, and then we have minus 3t. Distribute. 3 times 4 is 12. And then 3 times minus t is minus 3t. I'm going to simplify inside. So we have 3 minus 4t plus 10t is 14t. Minus 3t, that's 11t. That's 11t minus 5 equals 12 minus 3t. You're going to distribute the negative sign to both. So you have 3 minus 11t plus 5 equals 12 minus 3t. We want to add this to this first. That'll give us 8. And then bring this over here. And then bring the 8 over there. So that would give us minus 11t plus 3t equals 12 minus 8. Negative 11 plus 3, that gives us minus 8. t is equal to 4. Divide both sides by 8. T is equal to minus 4 over 8. T is equal to negative a half. You could simplify that. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So t is equal to negative a half. Okay, we're going to factorize each of the following completely. So, if I look at this term, I see that x minus 1 is common in all. So I'm going to factor out x minus 1. So if x minus 1, and when I do that, I'm left with x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now we want factors of 6 that add up to 5. Factors of 6 that add up to 5 is 3 and 2. So we can just write x minus 1, x plus 3, x plus 2. This. So now, what we're going to do first is just split it up into two groups. I see 8x squared, 8x cubed common in both terms in the first one, so I'm going to factor out 8x cubed. I'd be left with x squared minus 1. And then I could factor out 1 from the next. So I can factor out negative 1. I'm going to be left with x squared minus 1. So now I'm going to just rewrite it and say x squared minus 1, 8x cubed minus 1. The first one is the difference of two squares. Remember, a squared minus b squared is a plus b, a minus b. The second one is the difference of two cubes. And the formula for that is a cubed minus b cubed. That's a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. So we can factor it, the difference of two cubes. That'd be x minus 1, x plus 1. And then the next one, a is 2x, and then b is just 1. So you just put 2x minus 1. A squared is a squared, that's 2x squared, that's 4x squared, plus ab plus 2x plus b squared plus 1. Plus 1. Simplify the following. Law of exponents again. The power rule, all I'm doing is multiplying the 3 by these terms. So that'll be x to the power of 6 over 3, because 2 times 3 is 6. Times, let me write that better. That'll be x to the power of 6 over 3, y to the power of negative 3 over 6, over 2 to the power of 3, y to the power of 9. That's equal to x to the power of 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Y to the power of negative a half over negative 8. 2 cubed, negative 2 cubed is 8. And then y to the power of 9. Now we have to do the quotient rule. Law of exponents quotient rule. That's y to the power of a half minus 9. You can put that in your calculator. You could put negative a half minus 9. So negative a half minus 9. That's negative 19 over 2. So that's y to the power of negative 19 over 2. Since it's negative, it's going in the denominator. So what we're going to write is x squared over remember it's a negative because the negative 8 y to the power 19 over 2. We could just write that as x squared over 8 square root of y to the power 19. Since it's 2 in the denominator, it would have been a 2 here. Remember, just the square root 2. If that was a 3 there, where the 2 was, it would have been 3. If it's a 4 there, it would have been 4, right? And then you keep the 19 as the what's y is being powered by. So now, since it's a 2 here, when we want to take variables out of the square root, it's kind of like you dividing it by what number is here. So since it's 2, I'm going to break it up, and I'm going to break up what's inside the square root and say x squared over 8, and I'm going to say y to the power 18 times y. It's the same thing. Y to the power 18 times y is still not y to the power 19. Now I'm going to just divide the 18 by the 2. When I divide 18 by 2, I just left with 9. So what I'm going to put on the outside is x squared over 8 y to the power 9, and I'm going to leave the y inside the bracket. Okay? You could leave it here. You could leave it as this answer. But since it's a simplify, I would go all the way here. But they might give you full points if you just leave it there. I'm not sure. But yeah, this would be your final answer. Negative. I forgot the negative value. So it's a negative answer. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do this one step at a time. This is, how much points is this? 3.5? Yeah, the 3.5 points. So, we're going to do it one step at a time. We're going to work with the numerator first, and you're going to work with the denominator. So the numerator, that's 3 over y minus 4 plus 3. To add the 2, the denominators must be the same. So I'm going to multiply the second equation by y minus 4. So we could just add it. So that's 3 plus 3 y minus 4 over y minus 4. 3 plus 3y minus 12 over y minus 4. That's equal to 3y minus 9 over y minus 4. Factor it. That's equal to 3y minus 3 over y minus 4. That's our numerator. Now we're going to do our denominator. 1 over 3 minus 2 over y plus 3. Okay, so now, again, they have to share the same denominators. So what I'm going to do is just, our LCD would just be 3 y plus 3. So I'm going to multiply this fraction by y plus 3. So we're going to, since it's just 1, that's just y plus 3. And then minus, I'm going to multiply this fraction by 3 because it's just missing 3. So it'll just be minus 6. And then over the LCD, which is 3, y plus 3. So our answer is y minus 3 over 3, y plus 3. So now we could put it over each other. So our numerator was 3, y minus 3 over y minus 4. And our denominator is y minus 3 over 3, y plus 3. Now if we take a look at it, we're dividing fractions. Remember, when we divide fractions, we keep the first one and then flip the second. So this is going to be equal to 3y minus 3 over y minus 4 times 3y plus 3 over y minus 3. So cancel, we're going to cancel this and this. That's just going to leave us with 9, because 3 times 3 is 9, y plus 3 over y minus 4. And that's our final answer. This. Now, similar to what I was saying, we're going to want to break these things up. So 54, I had to find a number, a perfect cube exactly, that is a factor of 54. So what I just do is just start multiplying by dividing by perfect cubes. So 8 is a perfect cube, so I divide 54 by 8. I don't get a whole number. 27 is a perfect cube. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, so I could divide 54 by 27. 54 divided by 27. That gives me 2. So I know 27 is the perfect cube that's here. So we have 27 times 2. Now I'm going to break up the variables in terms of 3, in exponents of 3. So you're going to have a cubed times a times b cubed times b squared. Be mindful that this is the same thing as this. I just break it up. So when I take 27, when I take the cube root of 27, I get 3. Because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So I'm going to put 3 on the outside. And then a cube, when we take that out of the square root, it's just a. B cube, when we take that out of the square root, it's just b. And now I'm going to put back in the square root what is left over. What's left over is 2ab squared. And that is our final answer. Now over here, similar to what we was doing over there, we want to break up the numbers so we could take them out of the square root. So I have negative 5 root 3. I can't break that up no more. And then minus 3 root 75. I could break up root 75 and put 25 times 3. Because 25 is a perfect square. 12, that's 4 times 3. 4 is a perfect square. So I could simplify some more. That's negative 5 root 3. When I take 25 out of the square root, that's 5. So I'm going to have minus 3 times 5, and then root 3 left in the square root. When I take 4 out of the square root, that could be 2, and then I'm left with the root 3. So now I have minus 5 root 3, minus 15 root 3, plus 2 root 3. So my final answer is 5 minus 15 is negative 20. Negative 20 plus 2 is negative 18. So my final answer is negative 18 root 3. Okay. So now, represent the solution to the system below by shading the unwanted regions. So the first thing that I want to do is solve everything for y, because we want it in the formula y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to solve everything for y. So first thing we're going to do is send the x over for the first one. So that could be 3y greater than or equal to x minus 3. Y is greater than or equal to 1 over 3 x minus 1. That's our first answer. The next one, we just have y greater than or equal to negative x minus 5. Last one, it already in there. So what we're going to plot is, for the first one, we're just going to picture it as y equal 1 over 3x minus 1. How would you plot that and plot it? So -1 is down here. I can use a different color. -1, and then we're going to go up 1 and over 3 times. Remember, it's rise over run. So we're going to rise once and then going to run 3 times. 1, 2, 3. We end up there. Now I'm going to draw my line. Be mindful of the inequality symbol. Since it's, I think it's greater than or equal to, the line is solid. Yeah, y is greater than or equal to, since the y is solid. If it was just like this, it would have been dashed. So pay attention to the inequality symbol. So I could plot it. Y is greater than or equal to 1 over 3 x minus 1. Now, to see which area we're shading, you're going to choose a test point that is not directly on the line. So I'm going to choose 0.00 right here, since it's not on the line. I'm just going to substitute it into the formula. So 0 is equal to 1 over 3. 0. Sorry, not like that. We'll plot it into this formula here. 0 is greater than or equal to 1 over 3. 0 minus 1. This is 0 is greater than or equal to -1. 0 is indeed greater than or equal to -1. So this is the side we want to leave unshaded. We're shading the unwanted regions. So we're going to shade this side below because we don't want this region. So let me use a highlighter and just shade this side. Okay, so now let's plot the next one. How would you plot it? You plot it as y is equal to -1 over 1x minus 5, right? So we're going to plot the y-intercept at -5. And then you're going to go down 1 and over 1. So you're going to go down 1 and over 1. Right here. And then you're just going to connect the 2 lines. Like that. Like that. And when we label it, it's labeled y is greater than or equal to -x minus 5. Y is greater than or equal to -x minus 5. Now again, choose a test point and substitute it into it. So let's move this over. I could choose 0, 0 because again, it's not directly on the line. So 0 is greater than or equal to 0 minus 5. So that's saying 0 is greater than or equal to -5. 0 is indeed greater than or equal to -5. So you're gonna shade this side over here without the coordinate 0, 0. Last thing that we're gonna shade is y. We're gonna plot y equal to 2. So that's just a horizontal line going through y equal to. Now, this one you could just look at it. It's saying the values where y is less than or equal to 2. The values where y is less than or equal to 2 is this way. This way. These values are where y is less than or equal to 2. So I know I could just shade this side. You could choose a test point too, but it'll tell you the same thing. If you choose 0, 0, y, it says 0 is less than or equal to 2. So you'd be shading the other side, which is what I'm doing. This is our final answer. This is what you should see. Okay, now these. So, solve the following questions algebraically. Sydney paid a grocery bill of $3.90 with dimes and quarters. If there were 4 more dimes and quarters, how many coins of each kind did he have? So, let Q be the number of quarters and D be the number of dimes. The first thing they said is that he has, well, not the first thing, but they said that he has 4 more dimes than quarters. So our dimes are equal to our quarters plus 4. And then they said that he paid the bill with dimes and quarters, and the bill total was $3.90. So we know how much in dimes or quarters are worth, right? We know that a dime is 0.10. So 0.10 D plus 0.25 Q is equal to 3.9 D. We know how much that they are worth, right? So we put the 0.10 D because the dime's worth 0.10 cents, and then 0.25 Q because quarters worth 0.25 cents, right? So we're going to substitute this. D is equal to Q plus 4. We're going to substitute this for D in this equation. So this would be 0.10 Q plus 4 plus 0.25 Q is equal to 3.90. Distribute, that's 0.10 Q plus 0.40 plus 0.25 Q plus 3.90. Now you're going to add the 0.10 Q and the 0.25 Q. That would give you 0.35 Q. And you're going to send the 0.40 over, and that would be a negative 0.40. So that would be 3.90 minus 0.40. Over here, now we have 0.35 Q is equal to $3.50. Now you're going to divide both sides by 3.5. So let's get our handy dandy calculator. 3.50 divided by 0.35 is 10. So Q is equal to 10. Remember, D is equal to Q plus 4. So D is equal to 10 plus 4. So D is equal to 14. So 10 quarters, 14 dimes. Okay. Now, Sam's age is twice Alice's age now. 5 years from now, Sam's age will be 3 times Alice's age then. Find Sam and Alice's age last year. So quite a few. First thing that they said is Sam's age is twice Alice's age now. So S is equal to 2 times A. So Sam's age is equal to 2 times Alice's age. 5 years from now, so let's add 5 to S. Sam's age will be 3 times Alice's age then. Sam's age will be 3 times Alice's age then. Alice's age then was 2A. So now we want to find Sam's and Alice's age last year. So what we want to do is simplify this and then substitute. So this is 5 plus S is equal to 6A. Now we're going to substitute 2A for S and this. S is 2A, you're going to substitute that here. So 5 plus 2A is equal to 6A. Transpose and send the 2A over, so that's 6A minus 2A is equal to 5. Now we have 4A is equal to 5. A is equal to 5/4. So Alice is 1 1/4. Or Alice is 1 3 months now. So Alice is 1 3 months. So Sam is 2 times A. So 2 times 5/4. So Sam is 2 times 5/4, which is 10/4, which is 2 and 2/4, which is just 2.5. So Sam is 2.5 years old, right? So last year, if Alice is 1 3 months this year, last year Alice was 3 months. If Sam is 2.5 this year, last year, Sam was 1.5. And you know 1.5, that 1 year is 12 months. Half year is 6 months. 12 plus 6 is 18 months. And Sam was 18 months. Okay. Now, C. So find two consecutive odd integers such that 4 times the second less than 3 times the first is 11. Solve algebraically. So remember, consecutive odd integers, if the first odd integer is x, the first one is x, the second one is x plus 2. For example, let's say the odd integer is 3, right? The first odd integer is 3. The next odd integer will be x plus 2. So 3 plus 2 is 5. And then the next odd integer would be 3, 5, 7, 9. So they don't want the even numbers. So you kind of skipping the even numbers. So make sure I go back to consecutive numbers if you don't recall this, right? So now we have our two consecutive odd integers. So now it says that 4 times the second, so our second is x plus 2. So 4 times x plus 2 less than 3 times the first. So less than 3 times the first, which is x, is 11. So equal 11. So now I could simplify. When we distribute, that's 4x plus 8 minus 3x is equal to 11. 4x minus 3x, that's just x plus 8 equal to 11. Send the 8 over. X is equal to 11 minus 8. X is equal to 3. So our first number is x is equal to 3. Our second number is x plus 2. So x is equal to 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. So our two integers are x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 5. Okay, now I'm back. I tried my best to break down the concepts for y'all, but if y'all still don't understand it, I implore y'all to go on ChatGPT, type in the question, and ask them, hey, how did you get from x plus 2 to x plus 5? What did you do to get there? If you still don't understand, continue to ask it until you understand. You have YouTube, you have Google, you have all kind of resources that you could use. I will link the link to my math PDF notebook. I think it's a good notes and I think that it's very organized. So if y'all want to take a look at that, I will link it in the comments, as well as the links to my other videos. Either it'll be in the description or in the comments. So you can check that out for the extra practice and review. Please practice and please review. So make sure to practice every single day if you know you ain't that good. If you cram and you lollygag all semester and now you're trying to make something shake, may God be with you. So all I can tell you right now, may God be with you. If you have any questions, you could just send in the comments. I'll try my best to answer. But other than that, I wish you all the best. And I pray that you successfully pass the math exam so that you could pass the course. This course is very expensive, so make sure to put your effort forward for your final exam. Do your mind math labs. If you ain't finished them and they ain't closed yet, please finish them off. Okay? All right. Bye.